Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. So today I have this really exciting video for you guys. Well, I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. I have decided to start this series on my channel because I feel like it's just needed. It's just so needed. As you guys can see already by the title, this is a series that I decided to start off for beginners. I'm going to go ahead and touch bases on everything that I wish someone touched with me when I started getting into makeup. I'm going to show you guys today a foundation application for beginners. I'm going to touch everything on lashes, winged eyeliner, smoky eyes, everyday eyes, contour and highlight with creams, with powders, just anything that I feel like it's good to know for someone who's going to start getting into makeup and maybe you don't know yet. But today, for the first video, I decided to make it about foundation because, hello, that is the first thing that you wear on your face when you apply makeup. Well, maybe not really because I like to do my eyes first. Without further ado, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and I hope you find it helpful in every single way possible. If you have any requests for what you want to see next on the series, make sure to leave them down below. So if you guys want to learn how to apply foundation and how to work with your face and the things that you need to know for when you're first starting makeup and you want to start off with foundation, then you know what to do. Just keep watching this video. So to start off for the foundation application, you should know that for your foundation to go on flawless and just like perfect looking, you have to work on a nice canvas. What's your canvas? Your face. How are you going to achieve that? You have to make sure your face is nice and moisturized. You have to make sure you have a cleansed face. Apply any kind of skincare that you have that you know you like that works on your face and you move from there. What I have been using for a while now is this Mario Badescu skincare, which is a facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water. I always spray this right after I cleanse my face, but make sure to always cleanse your face. You want to get rid of any oils, any makeup that you had on from the night before or from earlier. You want to make sure that your face is nice and cleansed. So after I cleanse my face, I go in and spray a little bit of this. It just freshens up my face and I like the way it feels. After that sinks into my face, I just let it dry. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to dry completely. I go in and moisturize. The moisturizer that I have been using for probably like a few months now, maybe 4 months, is the Simple Moisturizing, is the Replenishing Rich Moisturizer. This is a moisturizer that I use every morning after I come out of the bathroom, that I wash my face. I love the way it works on my face, so this is just what I like. Keep in mind that I don't have oily skin, I don't have problematic skin, I don't have acne prone skin. I have pretty normal to combination skin. I only get oily on my T-zone. So this moisturizer is just a replenishing rich moisturizer. It's not a moisturizer for dry skin and it's not a moisturizer for oily skin. It's just for like normal skin. Make sure that you use something that's going to work with your skin. Don't go ahead and use what I'm using because I might have a different type of skin than you do. So if you have oily skin, make sure you use a product that's going to control your oil throughout the day. If you have dry skin, make sure you use a rich, thick moisturizer that's going to provide the moisture and the hydration that you need for your face so your makeup can either go on flawless or it can last longer. After you apply your moisturizer, you want to make sure you let that sink into your skin. My moisturizer has already absorbed into my skin because I left it there for about, I don't know, 5 minutes while I finished up getting ready. Next thing you want to do before we apply our foundation is make sure you apply a primer. What's a primer? A primer is something that's going to work basically as a barrier and as a glue for your foundation. What I mean by barrier is that you're going to apply basically a shield from the foundation to going directly onto your skin because you don't want the foundation to either sink into your pores or you don't want the foundation to absorb into your skin. You want to use a primer because what it does, it basically, like I said, it works as a barrier between your foundation and your skin. What a primer also do, what it can provide for you, is it can prolong the wear of your foundation. Basically what I'm trying to say is if you have oily skin and you use a primer that's for oily skin, it's going to maintain the oils from showing up through your foundation. Same thing for dry skin. If you use a primer that's better for dry skin, it's going to provide you with moisture and hydration and the oils that you need for your face. You don't want the foundation to grasp onto any dry patches that you have over your face. That's why, again, you're gonna apply a primer. So a primer is good for people with either oily skin or dry skin or even normal combination skin. A good primer that I like to use is the Maybelline Baby Skin. This is a primer that supposedly erases your pores, but what I like to use this for is that it kind of blurs your skin, leaving a clear canvas for you to work on. So when your foundation goes on, it goes on better because now it's going on evenly. Like you're not applying directly onto your skin, so you have a barrier with the primer, which is gonna fill in the pores. It's not gonna clog them, it's just gonna blur them. For when you do apply the foundation, you don't see them through the foundation. And then my other primer that I absolutely love, this is not something that someone with extreme oily skin will want to use. This is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi primer. The primer for someone with like more to the dry skin side because it's illuminating. You can also use this if you have normal skin like me, like if you want a more dewy, luminous foundation look, if you don't want something so matte or something so flat, and you want to bring some light and some highlight and some luminosity onto your foundation, this is the best primer to use. So what I like to do is I just like to melt the product into my fingers and then apply it on my T-zone. And then whatever is left on my fingers, I'm just gonna spread all over my face. So you're just gonna let your primer sink in for at least 20 seconds, 10-20 seconds, and then move on to foundation. Now, the same thing for foundations. There is so many different kind of foundations. Just make sure you go ahead and find the best for you. There's foundations for oily skin. There are foundations for dry skin. There are foundations for combination skin. There are foundations that give you a matte look. There are foundations that give you a dewy look. It's all up to preference and what works best for you. For me today, I am going to use my Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation. Just make sure you go ahead and use what's best for you. I'm also going to use a kabuki brush because I feel like when you're a beginner, you don't want to go ahead and jump into a sponge because it can be a little tricky to use a sponge sometimes. So for a first timer, I definitely recommend to get a kabuki brush because it's just the best brush to use for foundation. So what I like to do is just pour a little bit of this foundation. A little bit. I like to pour a bit of the foundation onto the back of my hand. It is a little bit liquidy, not too watery though. And then I just leave it on the back of my hand and I pick it up with my brush. What I like to do is stipple this on. Even though it's not a stippling brush, what stipple means, you dab the foundation onto your skin with the brush. You're not gonna rub, you're not gonna move in circles, you're just gonna dab it basically. You're gonna stipple the foundation onto your skin. And what this does is it gives a better application because you're allowing the foundation to sink into your face. And then once you have it all over, you can start rubbing it and blending it in. And we're gonna pick up a little more and apply it to our forehead. Same way, you could just, I like to stipple it on first, get it where I want it to be, and then go back in and blend it out. And blend it into your hairline too. Don't get me wrong, you're not gonna put it on your hair, just a little bit on your hairline. You don't have like a sharp line right there of foundation. Now before we move on to concealer, let me tell you that it might sound a little weird to some of you. I've heard a lot of people say it's just weird when you put makeup on your neck, blah blah blah. Okay, I understand that. But for you to have a flawless look to your makeup, you always want to make sure you blend. You don't want to just stop right here at your jawline, because no matter how accurate your foundation looks on your face or it matches your skin, you always want to blend down to your neck, because your neck is always going to be a shade or two lighter or a shade or two darker than your face. So you always want to make sure you drag the product down. Whatever product is left on your jawline or whatever product is left on your brush, you always just want to make sure you bring it down. Now moving on to concealer. For concealer, same thing. Again, you have to make sure you know what color you want to use under your eyes. As you guys can see, I don't have redness under my eyes, but my eyes are a little bit dark. I like to use either a concealer that's a little more on the salmony side or a little more on the yellow side. I don't like to use something that's pink. Always remember the color wheel. If you have, let's say, redness under your eyes, you want to wear something that's a little more on the green side, because green is gonna cancel out red. So moving on, the concealers that I like to use, one of them is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which is such a beautiful creamy concealer, but it blends out nicely and it doesn't crease on me. It's not drying, and it doesn't like grasp onto any dry spots that I may have under my eyes. And this is in the color Light. I also love this Instant Age Rewind. This is in the color 220 Light. I'm not going to highlight or contour for the purpose of the video because I'm just doing a foundation application. For today, I'm going to just cover up my dark circles and leave it at that. So I'm just going to apply this directly under my eyes. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit because I do have some darkness in my inner corner, and then drag it out and just dot it. Honestly, to blend out concealer, I love to use my ring fingers because since it's warm, it's going to melt the product directly into your skin, and it's not going to either budge or move or smudge as opposed to using a brush. But again, for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and use a brush. And the brush that I'm using is a Flawless Concealer Brush by e.l.f. I'm just going to start off with the edges, blend up the edges because that's what the harshest is. And then I'm just going to go in and very lightly blend the concealer onto my eyes. Now what I like to do is set the concealer right away. My concealer tends to crease a little bit depending on what kind of concealer I use or how dry my face might be that day. To set my under eyes, I love to use this e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder. If you guys have noticed, I'm using a lot of drugstore products because as a beginner, I didn't start off with MAC and NARS and Bobbi Brown and all of these brands. Eventually I started getting those brands afterwards, but when I started off, I definitely started off with the drugstore makeup. I still use drugstore makeup because I feel like the drugstore has such amazing makeup that you can do a full face of makeup with drugstore and a full face of makeup with high-end, and you're not going to tell the difference who's wearing drugstore makeup and who's wearing high-end makeup. If you know what you're doing and if you practice every day, you're going to get to look just as amazing as a model does wearing YSL foundation and NARS eyeshadows. It's all about techniques and all about how you blend and, you know, all about that. But if, like I said, if you guys don't notice, I am using mostly drugstore products because I want to make sure that if you're a beginner and you're just getting into this, you're getting good quality makeup for a little bit of a price. You don't have to spend $30 on a foundation or $60 on a foundation when you can spend a good 10 and another good 8 on a primer and you're good to go. So to set my under eyes, I'm going to use my e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to use the Real Techniques setting brush. Now, if you're on the oily side, you might want to go ahead and set your foundation. Like I mentioned to you guys in the beginning, I am not on the oily side. I do have normal to combination skin, so only my T-zone can get oily after like a few hours. The rest of my face will not ever get oily. So the two powders that I definitely recommend for anyone on a budget, anyone just beginning, or anyone that just wants a good product that's going to set your foundation and is not going to, the oils are not going to peek through, are the e.l.f. High Definition Powder is another loose powder, and then the other one is the Revlon Nearly Naked. This is definitely an oldie but a goodie. It's such a buttery and silky and it's such a thin powder that it's not something that's going to kick up your foundation. So if you want a really good powder to set your foundation and it's not going to let the oils peek through, you can definitely try one of these two. So now to finish off the face, just for the purpose of the makeup, because basically this is a foundation routine, you can't just go ahead and put your foundation and leave. I mean, you could, but you always want to apply a little bit of bronzer and a little bit of blush. So the bronzer that I'm going to apply today, like I said, I'm not going to contour, but I am going to apply a little bit of bronzer just to bring some warmth back into my face. Because of the foundation, the concealer, you don't want to look so flat. You want to make sure you have a little bit of dimension and warmth. The bronzer that I'm going to use is something that I really like from the drugstore. This is the NYC Color Wheel Mosaic face powder, and the color is All Over Bronze Glow. And I like to apply this with my e.l.f. complexion brush. So I just swirl it all together and just dust it in the perimeter of my face. Basically, you want to dust this like around your cheekbones, because that's where you want some shadow, and that's basically where the bronzer is gonna go. You want to apply this on your temples as well, and a little bit on the sides of your forehead. You don't want to apply this all over your forehead. And then you can see right away how much warmth it brings into your face. It just pulls your face together. Now for blush, I'm going in with this beautiful Milani Baked blush in the color Luminoso. This is such a beautiful blush. It's more on the peachy side. And for blush, it's very simple. I'm pretty sure you guys know where blush goes. It just goes in your cheeks. If you have really full cheeks, you want to avoid applying it to like right here, to the apples of your cheeks. You want to make sure you sweep it back a little more, because you don't want your cheeks to look even bigger than what they already are. If you have a small face like me and you have small cheeks, you want to make sure you apply the blush right on the apples of your cheeks and just blend it back. And the brush that I'm using is another Morphe brush. This is a blush brush, and again, very affordable. So I'm just going to smile. What you can do is you can always smile, and you will instantly find the apples of your cheeks. You see this? These are the apples of my cheeks, where mine are like little cherries, because I have such a small face and I don't have big cheeks. So when I smile, this right here, I want to just apply a little bit of blush there and blend it back. Now for a highlight, you cannot forget a highlight. And it has been my holy grail for like the past 2-3 years, is the e.l.f. Baked highlighter in the color Moonlight Pearls. And the brush that I'm using to highlight is another Morphe brush, very affordable. I'll make sure to link all these brushes for you guys right below. So if you guys are interested, you can just click the link and it will take you directly to the Morphe website, which is my favorite, most affordable brushes. So I'm just going to pick up some of the highlight on my brush. And you want to apply this directly on top of your cheekbones. You just want to apply this to the highest points of your cheeks. Basically, you're going to apply a highlight where the light hits, where you want the light to reflect off your face. That's pretty much how it works. So I'm going to apply it directly above my cheekbones. Right on the top of my cheekbones, actually. I don't have high cheekbones. So what this is going to do, the light is going to reflect right off the cheekbones, and it's just going to give it the appearance of high cheekbones. And I'm going to apply a little bit on the tip of my nose. You see that? It just catches the light beautifully, and it just makes it look like my nose is like pointed up. A little bit on the bridge of my nose. Just a tad bit on my forehead. You don't have to do this. I like to apply my highlight on my Cupid's bows as well, because it just gives the appearance of the lips looking a little more plumped. And we have finished our foundation routine. Yay! I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off my eyes and apply a lip color. That is all for my foundation routine for beginners. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you know someone who's just beginning to get into makeup, or who's just starting to do their foundation, show them this video. Tell them that, you know, I'm trying to help you get your foundation on the right way. So thank you so much guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you have any requests, any comments, make sure to leave them in the description box down below. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on my next video.